Nicholas, welcome to the Business Breakthrough. Visionary Painting. First of all, I love the name.
Thank you.
Big on vision. So tell me where the vision came from.
So the vision came 4 years ago. My wife and I decided to really just start our own thing, branch out. We wanted to actually start a flipping home business.
Yeah.
And we went to a seminar uh,
Okay.
downtown Harrisburg because I'm from the Pennsylvania area, and it was not what we expected. It
Oh, you went
was
to a house flipping seminar.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It was a big time football player. He's the owner of that business. I forget the name of it. But anyways, long story short, it was basically a whole scam. Just basically this whole thing that they were just trying to get your money kind of thing. There were a lot of top-notch people there, like doctors, investors,
Sure.
and luckily my wife and I pulled out. And but anyways, that didn't work out. So we were like, okay, well, I was like, well, I painted before um, in Florida before I moved back to Pennsylvania for two
What
years.
part?
Jacksonville.
Nice.
Yeah. So I did that with my sister's boyfriend at the time because I was living
Okay.
with them for 2 years, and he had his own business, and I learned a lot of how to roll walls, cut in. Um, we even worked a big job for Animal Planet. We actually um, uh, I'm trying to think. It was one of those big gazebos. We did like a
Nice.
big pool job
Cool.
where we had a gazebo and we did that. Um, but yeah, basically, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a painting business because we just got tired of working the 9 to 5 job. We were working two jobs. We were both servers, and I was working at a warehouse. And we just stacked up our money, saved money, and I was like, well, let's start our own painting business, and just took that leap of faith. And ever since, it's just been its own learning curve for sure, but it's definitely been the best decision for us.
Cool,
It's
man.
just a matter of time to learn how to hire people, and I'm completely off the tools now. I'm not
Good for you.
doing any of the painting.
That's a big step, man. Don't take that lightly.
Yeah,
Good.
so
Congrats.
yeah, thank you. It's 4 years in the business now, but definitely it's been a learning curve. Definitely trying to adjust to the new way of how to go about things because it's more
Sure.
delegation
Sure.
and learning how to really dial in and know your numbers, your weekly
Sure.
goals for your leads, all that kind of stuff.
How many guys do you have working with you or for you?
So I have a subcontracting. I'm subcontracting a crew of painters. It's another
Okay.
business. They're based out of Delaware. I found them at a
How
Sherwin-Williams
far is
store.
Delaware from, not far, but like they
It's
just
right,
travel?
correct. Yeah, it's like usually like anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half
Okay.
commute,
So you,
sometimes two
so
hours
you got,
depending on the work.
right now you have one crew.
One crew, and they're of 15 to 20 guys.
Wow. You're
So,
not making much money though,
uh, so no, I'm not. Well, I am making money. Um,
but it's going
what?
right back into the business
Correct. I am
unless
making money. The thing is that I just need to get better with my marketing,
okay.
and that's what I've really that's what I'm dialing it into is what avenues, where I should market myself, what
Yeah.
should I do. And right now I'm doing the door to door, where I hand out the flyers,
How's that going?
the door hangers kind of thing. It's going good. It's
Are you
definitely its
doing it?
own. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I was having some other young kid doing it for me, like handing them out, and then he was gonna be doing the door knocking, and then he kind of just went
Yeah.
ghost on
Tough
me.
job, man. High
It
turnover.
is, it is.
High
It's not
turnover.
easy trying to find somebody, but when you
Uh,
do, then it's like, you know,
yeah.
I'm sure it gets easier, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And
Well, there's a lot here, man. I think what you've done so far, you should be proud of. I'm sure you guys have a good reputation. You got a bunch of good reviews.
Yes, all
Cool.
5-star reviews.
I'm sure you're involved in the project pretty heavily. If it's one, you got like one. Do you usually have one going on at a time? Based off your revenue that you said that you're generating about 10K a month.
Yeah.
So that's
So
like one a week. That's like one to two
so
jobs.
sometimes it really depends. Usually it is. Most of the time it is one job, but sometimes like I was on vacation not too long ago and I had 3 jobs going. So it
By
was
that
a
one
big
sub crew. So you'll stack that one sub crew and you'll give them like three jobs because they have
correct.
capacity.
Correct, yes. But I do know that I have to eventually hire
What's your
a
so
project
let's talk.
manager
Let me
and
just understand like what
yeah,
jobs are you taking on? Are you doing more exterior,
more
interior?
more interior, way
So you're
more
doing
interior.
what's the
Yeah,
percentage?
residential. All of it's residential
What's
interior
the
repaints.
percent? All of it isn't. You don't do any exterior,
We do exteriors, but it's just
like
hasn't been our.
80-20 split, 90-10.
I would say this year we have done how many exteriors? Because we've done a couple shutter jobs.
So just you would just do shutters on a brick house or like yeah.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So
Or
like you
like
would say interior is where your bread and butter.
correct. I would
Okay.
say
Now,
probably exterior is like 5%, if
got
that.
what
If
what
that.
do you know your profit margins
Yeah, I do know my profit margins here. I can pop it
in
up
job
here.
costing?
Uh, so my profit margin right now, I think I'm at the, what am I at? I'm at like 75K, 80K, almost 80K, uh, total revenue.
Okay.
Uh, but what I'm bringing home, of course, is like closer to that
You're
60%.
at 80K for the year.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then you're bringing home how much you think?
I'm bringing home,
So what
uh,
so let's talk job costing because this is important.
yes,
And I
yes,
think maybe everyone has a different definition of it. Let me just help you
yeah,
understand the way I see it is
yeah.
like job costing is like the way it's done with like a bookkeeper is they're going to look at your net profit or they're going to look at your profit and they're going to look at your sales and they're going to give you, hey, here's how much you profited based on the expenses we see. Are you doing the costing on a job by job basis?
No, no.
Okay,
I do it for like the month. So
cool.
like,
So this is important. This is
yeah.
foundational.
Hmm.
I would make this a focus because this is where you really can identify if like the sub model is good for you or not. And
Hmm.
that this is foundational, right? So like you sell a $10,000 job, how much? And it's really easy with a subcontractor because you just take
Hmm.
away how much you pay them, and then you go and subtract the paint, and that's a good job costing system. How much did you pay the guys? How much did you buy in paint? That leaves you with a margin. It's important for you to know that number. Do you have any idea? Like any close idea? Like if you were to sell a $10,000 job, how much would you have to pay the sub, generally speaking?
Oh, yeah. So I pay my subs 55%, and that's included with the paint and materials.
So they purchase
So
the paint and the materials?
yeah, on my account. So
Okay.
for example, I'll give them a job that's $10,000.
All right.
Um, so they're getting 55% of that job
Okay.
for that
So ten
total
thousand
cost.
dollars, they're getting $5,500.
Correct. With the
Okay.
paint materials. Correct.
So if you underbid the job in terms of materials, or they need more paint, that's on them to figure out.
Cor- Correct. Yes.
Now they're using the credit on your account with Sherwin-Williams, right?
Yes, they are.
Are you auditing what they're spending on that account? Do they have complete freedom to kind of do what they want? Like, are you really
Yes.
auditing that they're staying within that budget? Because to be
Ye-
honest, if you're not job costing, that's very difficult to do.
yes. I am keeping track of that. They in the beginning they were spending a little bit more money on tools, but I did have a conversation with him and
So they
hey,
were
look, if you
buying
can
paintbrushes, they were
more
buying
rollers. I think it was more of
rollers.
the rollers and mini rollers that were adding up. And
Okay.
then it's
Are
an
they
inch
buying
ones.
are they buying plastic, paper, tape,
Yeah, that
all
too.
that's going on your account?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
That's a change I would make.
Hmm.
I would
Well,
make that change.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm open to that. They do pay for other materials like certain tape and stuff like that for like the floor covering and stuff like that, and then the resin paper. That is his own thing. He just takes care
Yeah.
of that on
The
his end
thing
of
is
the
like
business.
the thing is you got caulk, you got Like, so there's a lot of random things. Like, I would either do it this way. I'd say, I'm going to give you a split. You're fully responsible. This is actually the legitimate sub model is you don't buy any materials. They buy the materials, like on their dollar. Like it's all worked into the amount. They're responsible for everything. That's one way to do it. I would at least draw a line in the sand between paint and supplies, because those supplies add up, dude.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you know that,
absolute.
right?
I already spent like close to $30,000
Okay,
on
so
just paint and supplies. So
I would look at, so here, like, here's the tricky part of all this, right? Is that every job you estimate is different, yes?
yes, it is.
And you told me in here that you need to come up with a clear cut pricing structure so it's proportional to what you're paying them. Because I'm gonna assume, this is just from my experience, I could be wrong, but they show up at the job and they go, hey, maybe this one was a little underbid. Has that happened a couple times?
It has happened a couple of times.
Okay.
And he's like, well, I
And you're in
was
a
hoping to
position,
make, yeah, and I am in that position because for the smaller jobs, like that's where I know I need to have employees
right?
because if I have sub crews taking those big jobs, it's just not worth their time. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it's that there's a lot of benefits to employees. I think one of the things is
Mhm.
every job you're selling, you're helping build another business. Okay. Unless
Mhm.
you are going to say, hey, we're visionary painting, but we're mostly a sales operation and we don't
Mhm.
care about that. And it's important for you to clearly outline what your goals are here. Like, do you want that culture? Do you want those employees that are going to go to bat for you every day? That's hard to do, but it's worth it. I love the employee model. I built great relationships with my guys. I don't
Mhm.
have to worry about this. Everything's covered under the business. To be honest with you, Nicholas, the sub model is very, very thin line. And when you're telling people how to do their job, you're providing all the tools for them to do it. Now we're entering misclassification territory. So, like, there's things that I personally have opinions about, but I would say this, like, if you're going to stick with this, it
Mhm.
sounds like you got a great team. That's awesome. Like, that's great. But
I've dealt with my own thing with them.
yeah,
I even had another uh, company that I was actually uh, Pro. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
of course.
I was subbing jobs and giving them those jobs kind of thing, so I could make like a smaller cut, and then I would give them a
Well,
percentage
think
of
of all
that.
the effort. This is how I would look
But
at it. Think of all the effort that you're putting in to get these jobs. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You want to
yeah.
keep as much of that money as possible,
Hmm.
because that could mean the difference between you having to get. So let's say, like, I'm just going to give you hypothetical here. Let's say your goal is to make $10,000 for the month. With the model that you're doing, it might take you 15 jobs to do that. With an employee model, it might only take 10.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because the
almost
margins are going to
half.
be almost,
Hmm.
but it's the effort that you physically have to
Hmm.
put out, which means lower marketing costs. You're not hustling for jobs. Now, here's what it comes with, is the pressure with the employees is that, if you don't have any work this week, your subcontractor will find somewhere else to put his team. You don't have work for your employees, they're going to be like,
Yeah.
dude, like, that's not the agreement. And I think you're far enough in this business now to figure out how to find work. Have you considered heavily how to maybe switch into the employee model, or is this something you're just not
Uh,
in?
no, it's definitely something I'm working into. But like I said, right now, ever since I came back from vacation, it's kind of work has kind of slowed down a little bit.
Let's talk marketing.
Um,
Let's pivot.
so
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
that's my biggest struggle
Like,
right
let's
now
get
is the
the job.
marketing. Exactly.
Okay.
And really dialing in the leads,
Everything has to do with your understanding of what marketing really is, right? Like, to the degree
Yeah.
of which you understand the landscape of marketing is the degree that you're going to find that marketing is either easy or really difficult for you. So let me ask you this. Like, when you think of marketing and you think of, like, how people are making buying decisions, what do you think is, where do you think that's taking place nowadays?
It's more Facebook, Instagram, uh, that kind of thing. Just
Right.
more,
It's more
more,
online.
more. It's more digital.
More digital. It's digital. It's more digital than it's ever been. Okay, so there's
Mhm.
only a few areas that you really need to understand, dude. The first area is Google. What's your Google presence look like?
It's great. I mean, I think I
Well,
have.
there's a definition of great. The great, it could look good, but does it actually function like the tool it's supposed to? So when you
Yeah.
look up, what's the city you're in?
It's Carlisle, PA.
Okay, so is that like the big city or what's the big city?
The big city is Harrisburg.
How far out of Harrisburg are you?
35, 30 minutes
30
if that.
minutes you should be
Hmm.
ranking in
Hmm.
that area. So that's where most of the traffic's going to be on Google.
Hmm.
At first glance, and maybe you know this, like very difficult to find you. But let's look at Carlisle, Carlisle.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop right up. That should be
Okay,
one of the first
let's
ones.
hope so. Carlisle, PA Painting Company. Okay, I'm gonna go through. Yep, you come in third, but you come in with yeah, you come in third, smaller town. But your Google, it looks like your reviews are what's doing that. I'm gonna assume you don't have anyone helping you with this, right?
My wife helps me with the posting on
Okay,
Facebook, the Google, just that kind of stuff. Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, my
So
wife does help.
naturally, like generally speaking, you're getting some traffic. Let me just do this real quick. Carlisle, PA Painting Company, and just pop it in Google. So I just want to show you. So I'm going to share my screen with you if that's okay. Just
Yeah,
want to
sure
show
thing.
So it's going to get increasingly more difficult to rank on Google because of they keep adding things to the top. So
Hmm.
um, I put in Carlisle, PA Painting Company,
Hmm.
and look what's happening now. You see this? This is called your Google guaranteed area here,
Yeah, those
and
people pay for it. Hmm.
right, right,
Hmm.
right,
You could
and
tell.
look at
Yep.
this. Look at this. Now they're putting this here. Now you got Better Business Bureau because now they're going to work AI into the results, which is going to take up more space. Then you have the
Hmm.
lead aggregators, Angie, Yelp. Okay. If I'm a customer, I might go here to Angie's list and say, oh, top 10? Perfect. Let me see who the top 10 are. These customers don't know what Angie is, but then they start
Hmm.
looking and say, oh, you're not on this list, right?
Hmm.
So this is called just going through that customer journey. 10 best painters near. So I trust Yelp. I know what Yelp is. Okay, so let me go see what Yelp has to say about the 10 best painters. Right? You see that?
Yes,
See
I do.
this? This is a journey that a customer's going to take, Nicholas. And the thing is that
It's not
what you
just
want to
Google.
do, it's not just Google. No, you can't just assume that a customer is going to do a whiplash decision and just go with the first one they see. Now, what's more appealing to click? Right? Is this the most appealing button on the screen that says more painters? You know what that
No,
you
because
know what
they're
that
gonna have to keep going through the list of painters.
that's right. You know what that should really say? It should say more work. Like you got more
Yeah,
work to do, customer, right
I
here. They
agree.
make that they every let me make this clear, dude. Google, the multi-billion dollar company that they are, they spend all of their resources figuring out how to make this page do what it's designed to do, which is make them money. Okay. So this is strategically an ugly button that is unappealing. You see this little green icon? This little icon's making them a lot of money. It's called Google Guaranteed. And you want to figure out how to be one of those companies. Okay. Um, Again, like the goal here is just for you to understand that even in your backyard, look how hard it is for them to get to you. Like, yeah, it looks good. 3+ years in business. I mean, 16 reviews isn't amazing, but it's pretty good compared to your competitors. Okay. But the reality is, look how much work they got to do to get there, and there's a lot of things that are more appealing to click. So these are just some things that it'd be good for you to just kind of look at, um, in terms of how it's supposed to work. Now, I'm just gonna do a quick, if you don't mind, dude. Let me just do this.
All right.
I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm clicking on your page. Okay. Um, do you have a website?
No, I stopped the whole website thing. It was costing too much money.
Okay.
And it was getting a lot of traffic and stuff like that, but people weren't really calling me, reaching out to me, and I've gotten so many compliments from my website. And I did the design myself.
Okay.
My wife and I did it together.
Okay.
Never had complaints about the website. Everybody's been like, "Wow, it's straight. Like it's very
Okay.
detailed. We can understand what kind of work you bring to the table, what kind of services you offer.
Okay.
Very
How
clean.
expensive was it?
It was $700 a year.
A year?
So
I mean,
yeah,
that's not like crazy, but the thing
yeah, but
is that
we're more focused on dialing into the marketing because I've already spent close to $4,000, $5,000 on marketing just this year.
well, I mean,
Um,
so hear me out here. I mean, like
yeah,
a website is more about brand, and brand is a component of marketing, right? Like
yes,
you gotta understand that like if somebody's doing research on who they're gonna hire, they have they go through a journey, and it's important for you to understand what that is, right? Maybe it's not your
yeah,
journey. Like you can't
yeah,
say, well, I don't care about a website, but a majority of people are gonna go see your website to validate the work you did on the marketing, right? So if you did a great ad and it's like, hey, this is us at Visionary Painting, we're awesome, all this, you know, well, the educated buyer, the one that you want to be calling
hmm
you, the one that did the research and already pre-qualified you because of all the wonderful things you have online, they're going to be
hmm
looking for that website. Whether you think it's making you money or not, it's one of those things that's like it's like a ticket to entry to be qualified in business. A website should just be telling your brand story. It should be affirming what was built on the marketing side,
hmm
right? It's
yeah,
not going to be this thing that makes you a bunch of money, but what it is going to do, it's going to drive traffic there from Google, and the
hmm
customer going to feel more comfortable with going with it, right?
okay,
Like, I don't think that was a good play removing the website, to be honest with you. I think if you're heading in the direction I think you are, I mean, that's just a cost of doing business, and one job from a website will cover that 3 times for the year.
yeah. Well, I
So,
am thinking about getting a website eventually, but right now I'm really just like I said, I'm really just struggling with the marketing aspect, and really just this year I've really stepped aside from the painting. I've done a few jobs, but
yeah.
after I would say March, I fully have not touched a paintbrush.
I mean,
So,
that's good, but that's
so
like I mean,
um,
that's a good accomplishment for someone that's been touching the paintbrush. But like shifting gears to marketing requires first you got to understand the journey. That's why I'm talking about this. I could just say, hey, dude, run some Facebook ads, hire a Google guy, you know. But that does not do you any good if you don't understand the positioning that your business needs to be in to compete. It's getting more competitive. I don't know what the stats are, but like every year, like thousands of painting companies are born, you know, and it just keeps getting more competitive. This is a very lucrative business. So, yes, you can run Facebook ads, but not everyone who comes to you on Facebook is going to move forward. They're going to want to go validate that and build trust online. So again, like not having a website because it could hurt you.
okay.
It could hurt you. But in terms of marketing, you know, what questions do you have? Where to run it? Who to help you run it? You know, what the budget should be? You know, you got to spend money to make money. You're going to have to spend an
Oh,
uncomfortable
I
amount of
understand
money.
that. I understand that, and that's the biggest thing that I have learned from this year is that in order for anybody to make money, like I see some of these big time companies, seven figures, making seven figures, they're
Yeah.
spending $10,000, $15,000 a month.
Well, it's all percentages, right? So like a good rule of thumb for you to kind of identify is 10% cost of marketing, that's the term, is a
hmm
good is a good threshold, right? So in other words, like if your goal is to sell $30,000,
hmm
10% cost of marketing is $3,000 of marketing expense. Okay. Now that's a good goal, but if you're trying to be aggressive, 20% cost of marketing is fine. Like if you say, okay, I want to make sure this month I have someone that manages my Google. Like I love that you and your wife are doing these things, but it's time to start delegating these things to people that specialize in these things. You know what I'm saying?
And
Um,
I understand completely, and that's what I'm learning. I'm actually on a program right now with coaches,
okay,
Painter Growth with Mike. I don't
great
know if
idea.
you, yep,
Yeah.
yep. And I've actually watched your, couple of your videos with him. So
Okay.
that's how I heard
How's that
about you,
going for you? I
actually.
mean, what are your thoughts about that?
So it's really good. It's just a lot of information to process. It really
Okay.
is a lot of things to process. And I think when I first joined the program in the beginning stages, it was really tough because it was like I'm not paying anymore. I'm really focusing on how to market, how to do the door-to-door
Yeah,
sales,
it's a big
the
change.
yard stuff. Big change,
Yeah.
exactly, from what I'm used to, like being on the tools, being at the job sites, making sure that everything runs smooth, kind of thing. Um, it's just it's just a
So
big,
So,
yeah.
okay, so we got to make sure you have an action plan or this hour was wasted. And I don't want that to be the case, but I do
Yeah,
want you to I'm going to coach you like I need to coach you, man, because I want you to be successful. You're building something with your wife, probably for your family. You want to leave a legacy or those things in line with, your motivations.
correct. Yes. I am definitely trying to
So I'm going to
get to
give
the
you
point
some,
where I'm
do
making
I
passive
have, do
income.
I have permission to give you unfiltered, honest advice?
Yeah, man. I am ready. I'm ready
All
for
right, good.
it. So,
First thing is I would set boundaries with your subcontractors and never let them buy anything on your account ever again. Either that or you handle the ordering of the paint because you got to monitor those costs. I'm coming
okay.
to you from experience. You and I both know we get lazy in checking those invoices. Okay? True or false?
What? True or false? What?
Getting lazy checking those invoices.
Oh, true.
True, right? Logging in,
Yeah.
making sure,
Yep.
right? Things we
Absolutely.
can't let that's called slippage. And we want to make sure at your stage with the margins being so thin that slippage does not occur. Second thing is anything over $5,000, you need
Hmm.
to invite your subcontractor to either walk the job with you or you need to have proper photo documentation and video walkthroughs outlining every single thing that needs to be done, and you need to have a meeting with him prior to either doing the job or if you're really wanting to make sure your pricing is tight before you estimate it.
Okay.
Okay? That's very important. Are you using company cam?
No.
I
I'm
would
I'm not
suggest.
I'm not using any of that. I just give them the photos kind of thing.
What are you
I've been
using for
doing
your software?
software. I using the Sherwin-Williams app, the
Okay.
Pro app. Yeah.
Any reason why you haven't looked into DripJobs?
I have looked into DripJobs. I have not really understood how to use it.
Okay.
I watched a couple of videos of yours, so like that's something that I
So
would want to know
so
more about because that's
software's the
something that I want to
foundation of your
invest
business.
in.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
invest in it. And
yeah.
and brother, trust me, if you need anything, our team is so good. We will train you, we will help you. But that's the foundation of your business. You got to have a good tool, right? Because that software is going to allow you to create a work order based on the
Mhm.
pictures of the project that you can send that work order to the subcontractor. And that
Mhm.
creates a basis of accountability instead of, hey, Nicholas, is this included? You getting those phone calls?
Yes.
The homeowner's saying this is included. Is this included? Instead of that, it's like, hey, reference the work order.
Mhm.
So, you want to be building the administrative side at the same time you're building and scaling because once you get the marketing dialed in, which you will, once you get the
Mhm.
sales dialed in, which you will, you don't want to have this big administrative gap, which is one of the easiest gaps to fill. The
Yeah.
software does a lot of the things for you. It's just up to you to have the desire to learn and not be so concerned about the price. Don't worry about the price. If you're dealing with a good company, the value should exceed the price. In the same way that's true
Mhm.
with DripJobs, it's going to be true with the marketing agency that you hire. And if that's not the case, then get out of the agreement, cancel the software, fire the marketer. Like those are the decisions you got to make. And it's like when you're an employee or when you're budgeting, it's like, dude, cost. You're like, well, the website is expensive. That was your first reaction. I heard it. Okay. Get out of that mindset. The mindset needs to be, what's the value of having a website? And sometimes value, get this, Nicholas, because this is big for a CEO. Sometimes the value can't be quantified, and you need to just have one of those things where it's this is a valuable thing to have. It, you know what I'm saying? It's the website,
Yes.
and there's nothing wrong with finding an alternative. I think $700 a year is kind of expensive. Maybe you bought a heavy package that you don't need. I pay $19 a month for the DripJobs website. So I don't know what you bought, brother, but maybe you can find something cheaper. Maybe there's another alternative or,
Okay.
that makes you feel, I mean, that's an easy thing. Like I think I use
You just
Webflow.
got a Webflow?
Yeah, use Webflow. If you like building websites, it's awesome. I built my first website on Wix and it did the trick, you know? Um,
Mhm.
you don't need anything insane right now. You just need a place where your customers can travel to when they want to research you a little more before making that phone call. And those are the best customers. Another thing I'm
Okay.
noticing here, there's no reason why you should not be taking exteriors. I'm going to tell you why that's probably not happening. Two reasons. Number one, you could be intimidated by them and the risk and the liability by them. That could be number one. Number two, you live in Pennsylvania, so the weather is an issue and you kind of just want to avoid that entirely, which I don't blame you. Number three, you live in Pennsylvania and the house is very difficult to paint. And you can lose your tail on them. So which of those three is the biggest problem?
Neither. I'm gonna
Okay,
say neither of the problem.
good.
Honestly, I think that with the work and the people coming in trafficking to call me are really just wanting interior jobs. Like
Okay,
I've
so
done exterior
they'll do 'em.
bids, but then they said, oh, okay, well, you know what? You priced way too high, so they wanted to find somebody cheaper, kind of thing. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so we just need
And
volume. We just need volume so you can get your flow. So
mhm,
here's the strategy. I'm getting to the marketing, okay? And
okay,
then the last component before I get into the marketing is I would invest your efforts in the next 30 to 60 days in
hmm
building a employee team. Build an employee team. It's going to require, but here's the beauty of it is you have painting knowledge. You can coach and teach and train. You know what to look for. You know the standard. You are so far ahead of the curve than so many others that just enter the business that don't have the skill sets to teach, to audit. Like you know what's right and what's wrong. Like this is
hmm
powerful stuff that you could be profiting on. Okay. What's great is you have this subcontractor crew in your back pocket. I was telling someone the other day, I think that was lucky, right? I think you luckily ran into this crew in Sherwin-Williams. You're riding the wave of luck. That's good. Ride the wave of luck while your ship is being built, and then jump off the wave and get on your ship of structure. Does that make sense?
yes,
But if you're just riding the wave of luck with nothing being built, that wave of luck is going to fade out. And maybe you're noticing signs of that. You're starting to see some bottlenecks that are occurring, and that means that your business isn't scalable. So I'm not
yes,
saying that you have to go the employee route. Maybe it's a matter of you finding another subcontractor crew, and that's fine too. You got to pick a route though where you have some
mhm,
predictability. You know what I'm saying? Because
yes,
if you don't have predictability in your ability to recruit help, that makes you very vulnerable. That makes you in a position where, again, like we talked about, your subcontractor can say, "Hey, man, I'm not doing this job for the price that you want me to do it for." Have you been in that position?
say it again.
So in other words, you get to a job, we talked about it, the
Yeah,
subcontractor comes up to you and says, "You underbid this. I need more money."
yeah.
Have
Yep,
you been in
yep.
that
That
position?
is, yes, that's happened a couple of times for the smaller jobs, especially when I was working with the other company.
Okay.
Before I had him working my jobs, I wanted to make sure that he was able to do it for another company. And they did have a couple strikes with them,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
an
And I think,
exterior did went south with them.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
south meaning that like it wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault that what happened, but basically what happened is they were painting brick, an old brick exterior,
Okay.
and anyways, it was raining. It was raining in between, and I think they were trying to get the job done,
Okay.
and there was moisture on the brick, right? And they didn't give it enough days to fully dry out to be able to throw the paint on top of it, right? And it caused it to peel. So it was a mess of a job.
Yeah.
Luckily, we were able to get something out of it
Sure.
where he wasn't able to lose money and I wasn't able to lose a lot of money, but it could have gone worse. You know what I mean, kind of thing.
And things like that happen, man. I mean, even I'm susceptible to those things. And it's like you just want to make
Yeah.
sure you have a team in place that'll go to war with you when that happens, that's going to battle with you. I think when you talk about the end goal, I think there might be a reality. Let me paint this picture for you, and then we'll get into some marketing things before we go. But let me
Yes.
paint this picture for you. It's 2 years from now. You have two crews of three. You're estimating full time. You're running 7 to 12 appointments a week. You guys are cranking out $30,000 to $40,000 worth of work per month. You're not stressed out. You have assigned crew leaders on both crews. All your guys are wearing your logo on the back. You're starting to put together some marketing videos. The community's starting to see the value that you guys are offering. And life's good. I mean, is that something we're striving toward?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm striving for,
You
is
know, I
to get
wouldn't
to
get
the
caught
point
up.
where I can delegate, like get the website is what I'm hearing from you. Get the website, you know, don't have limiting beliefs, on what you need to pay for,
Well, the thing is
invest your
like
your time
investor
on the
mindset.
things.
It's an investor
Exactly.
mindset. Like you got to understand.
Hmm.
I can't stop. I use this analogy a lot. So if you guys, whoever's listening to this, sorry, but it's like I went to a smoothie shop. On the back, it says start a franchise with whatever smoothie, and it's like initial investment 100K. Okay, smoothie shops usually net, you know, I don't know, 80 to 100K a year if you're lucky. Like if you do 1 million in sales, you net 10% profit. Okay, dude, you can net 10%, 100K in profit in a powerful year of business with no upfront investment. Like I doubt you've invested more than 15K pre-revenue.
Hmm.
Hasn't happened because
No.
it's just a sprayer and you're ready to rock. So what I want you to do is continuously go through periods of drilling down. And that means there's going to be this time period, maybe it's today or tomorrow, where you start drilling down back to the surface again and restructuring things as you grow. So you drill down, scale up, drill down, scale up further, drill down, scale up. And when I say drill down, that's giving up something. That's whether it's, dude, like you need a software. Please let it be DripJobs. Like I think there's no better software for you. I'll be honest. I'm a little biased, but I would love for you to use it and we'll give you an extended trial. I'll give you 60 days. You get 2 months free. Just do a
Okay.
demo. See what it's about. I know it's intimidating if you're not big on software, but it'll solve a lot of those problems that you might be having, specifically with making it easy to estimate, learning production rate estimating. This is how the big boys do it. They just send in a guy with a wheel and a laser, and everything's based off of measurements. Job costing, a feature in DripJobs, so you can see exactly what your profit is on every single job. These are things that you should be a student of because you can't make decisions without the data. Like it's very hard. Like we can speculate. We could say, dude, like, is the subcontractor thing working? The first thing you're going to be thinking is all the feelings you have about it, rather than I'm making 55% profit on every job. I'm going to do that again. I need to find another subcrew, right? On the second level is the marketing. Let's get into that because without a software, it's very hard for you to see if marketing's working. So you might have a week of marketing that's going really well. Maybe you get 5 to 7 leads. And then for the next 3 weeks, it's dry. But those 5 to 7 leads converted to $20,000 in sales. At the end of the month, you're thinking of the last 3 weeks and you're saying, I didn't get any leads. This marketing channel sucks. And if you don't have data to show you that, then you might make the bad decision of stopping it. Maybe that was the
Hmm.
case with the website. You're saying, well, I had a couple people call from the website. But if you don't have something tracking if they actually bought, we might go back into that data and say, dude, you sold a $10,000 job from that website. That website's covered for the next 10 years.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
That's how it works. So let's talk marketing. Okay, so I'm going to give you the 4 channels, and then I'm going to implore you to take some action. It's going to be this is that drill down thing I was telling you about, where you actually
Hmm.
have to drill down and spend some uncomfortable money to get the reward. Okay, dude, you are selling. Let me put it this way: you're selling a slot machine that guarantees you to win. All you got to do is pull the lever, and you get money out, dude. You sold $80,000 in painting jobs. Did you believe that was possible when you were working at some other job?
No.
Dude, it's an easy decision, but it does require you spending some money up front. So number one, I really think it would be in your best interest to make sure you are listed properly on Google. And what I mean by that is you should get someone that understands how to set up Google in a way that optimizes your company's name. And that could be things that, again, my wife loves to help me, but there's things that she just doesn't know. And I don't even know. And I want to defer that to someone who does, because it could actually be costing you money that you could be making. So a Google representative, a marketing agency that specializes in Google is going to be a great play for you. That's number one. Number two, I think it would be in your best interest to sign up for Angie Leads. What are your thoughts about Angie Leads? Let me hear them.
Pricey, and I hear that. I hear that. I hear a lot of horror stories.
Okay, what I like about
So
Angie Leads is that it
yeah.
allows you to niche down on the service type that you want to do. Nothing else, nothing less. What you
Hmm.
need to understand is these are just people. Don't be mad at the people. The people are the
Mm-hmm.
people. It's your job to it doesn't matter where they come from. You have to sell the person on why they should give you an opportunity. Whether it comes
Mm-hmm.
from Angie or Walmart leads. If Walmart decides to start selling leads, people will complain about it. It's because they suck at sales. And that's
Mm,
your job to get better at sales. Your job
exactly.
to figure out how to convince people to give visionary painting a shot. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Over the phone. When you
Mm-hmm.
call them and they're like, "Oh, I didn't put in their information." Oh, okay. Well, I have your address here, and what's great about us, Miss Jones, is that our estimates are free and they take 30 minutes. So maybe you're not ready now, but maybe in 6 months you will be. And when
Mm-hmm.
that happens, you'll at least have a budget. So would it be okay if I just drop by? That's what it requires. Like that level of awareness of like how people make decisions and how people regret decisions. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, especially when it comes to painting, which on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do people need painting?
It depends on their situation.
Speaking.
You know, speaking,
4,
probably 4 or 5 in between. Yep.
4 or 5, unless there's rotting, right? Where does rotting happen?
Mm-hmm. Rotting happens
Inside or outside?
inside and outside.
Much easier to sell a need or a want.
Need.
Of course. So you need to get into the exterior game. That's why I'm imploring that you should get on Angie Leads. And the reason why is because you can select that you want exterior leads only.
Okay.
Okay.
Or cabinet
Or
leads or
different ball game. We're not going to go there, but yes,
yeah. Okay.
cabinet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you the ability to pick what you want, and that's a good thing. If you don't get that, you get the money back. You know that, right? Like if it comes in
Oh,
as
really?
yes,
It's a
you
money
can
back guarantee? Oh, okay.
100%. If they
Oh,
put
okay.
in that, like if you set up that you want exterior and you put
Yeah.
and you get a freaking drywall lead out of it, as long as they can show that somewhere, they give you the money back and you get the lead. Okay, it's happened a
Oh,
couple
nice.
times where got the
So it's
money
a win.
back and it's win-win, right?
Yeah.
So again, I definitely think you should do that. And what does DripJobs do? It follows up with those leads instantly as soon as they get sent to you within
Mm-hmm.
seconds. That's the foundation of our software. All right, so that's the next one is going to be Angie Leads.
And how
And
much does that cost usually? What do you pay usually?
we're going to go over budget once I get through these 4.
Okay, got it.
The third one is going to be Facebook, okay? That's where all of your customers are. I would say 90% of them have a Facebook account, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
what you need to understand, I'm going to keep this very simple. You have 2 ways to win on Facebook. Number 1 is to educate your customers. Number 2 is to entertain your customers. Which category do you think you're going to fall into personally in terms of how you're going to approach Facebook? Are you
Well,
more of an educator or are you more of an entertainer?
entertainer.
Okay, cool. So you have a sense of humor. You have the ability to evoke some sort of emotion out of someone that brings about
Mm-hmm.
trust. Maybe you're creative in your thinking of a way that you can get people's attention from the ads that you've seen. But the goal here is for you to understand that you need to get on video. How do you get on video? Well, very easy. You turn your camera around and you start yapping about your job site and you walk through the job site, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a Facebook marketing agency that takes the raw footage and makes it an amazing ad. They put the ad in front of the right people for you.
Mm-hmm.
They assign a budget to the ad. They monitor the ad. And if it's not working, they shut the budget off. If it is working, they double down on it. This is testing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you wake up every day and you have leads in your pipeline. That's how that works. Okay. We're going to go over budget in a second. And then the 4th is door to door. Okay. I like that you're interested in door to door. What I don't like is that you're doing a $15 an hour job. You
Yeah.
need proper coaching on this.
Mm-hmm.
You need, if you're going to do this, if you're going to do like each one of these things that I've mentioned, Google, Angie Leads, and Facebook, generally
Mm-hmm.
speaking, these are passive approaches because you're going to delegate these to other people, which means you're delegating the responsibility of the results to those other people. With door to door, you're directly responsible because you have to train your team. Do you have the time to do that? Maybe. Right now you might. Hopefully what you'll realize is that Facebook is digital door knocking and you can only handle so many leads as it is right now. If you got 100 leads today, that would be a bad thing, actually.
So they don't have
What?
people and systems in place to be able to help handle that.
Correct. So I think door to door is something that I would stop right now, and I think the focus should be is to learn how to estimate and learn how to close jobs on the spot. Those are important components of moving the needle of sales. I think door to door can come into play once you have
Yeah.
2 crews running full time and
Uh-huh.
you're confident, because there's a learning curve between these 3 things, dude. You have to learn how to handle Google. You have to learn how to nurture Angie leads. You have to learn
Hmm.
how to work Facebook. This takes time. But at the end of it, you're going to have
Yep.
a pretty good understanding of how to pull the lever and get leads when you need them to come into your pipeline.
See, and this is something that I've been actually doing my research on is the Facebook marketing agency. It's just right now with like not having work and stuff like that, it's kind of like, do I
It's a
want to make
money
that
pit.
investment? You know what I mean? Do I want to make that investment, for that
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
instead of doing the door? Because I know I have to focus on one avenue. They say focus on one avenue of that certain something and get good at that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why I was like, well, with the door
I'm
to
gonna
door, I
say
already
that,
spent money on that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I'm gonna say, hear me out here. When you
Yeah.
delegate this stuff, Nicholas, you don't have to focus on it. That's the cool part. And that means you can allocate the focus elsewhere. So
Yeah.
we're delegating Google. We're gonna
Hmm.
delegate Facebook. The only thing you need to focus on is making a few videos or investing in a videographer to help you with that to speed up the process. The
Hmm.
money is a tool in business. It's the gas. You got to be agnostic to what money means to you personally and what it means to you as the CEO of a business. So money to you personally is, hey, we have bills to pay. I have a certain number that I like to keep in my bank account because that's the rule that I created for myself. And I
Hmm.
don't want to dip under that number because that's going to make me feel like I'm regressing. As the CEO needs to have a high risk tolerance because he understands that inputs equal outputs, whether the output is a greater return or it's a learning experience, which is generally speaking going to yield a greater return in the future as long as he stays in the game. So you need to separate those two ideologies. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yes, it does make sense.
So with that said, we're talking money now. We got Google, okay? You're going to
Hmm.
need a Google you're going to need a Google expert, somebody that knows what they're doing, and you want to allocate ad spend to that. So there's 2 components when you hire a marketing agency. The first component is the management fees. Generally speaking, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You spend $1,000 on Google, it's usually $1,000 of management fees, right? It could
Hmm.
be less, it could be more. Sometimes it's incremental. So with your management fees, I'm going to say let's set a budget for $1,500 a month. Don't get scared, man. This is a long-term play.
Okay.
And then for ad spend on that, let's go 1,500 in ad spend, right? So that's 3K for Google. Okay. All right. So let's talk Angie leads. What I want you to do with Angie leads is I want you to turn on leads with them. So I think there's a $300 setup fee. You can negotiate that with them and get it waived. So play hardball with them, get that waived. So essentially, you'll sign up for free. And then essentially what you want to do is you want to set up exterior and you want to set up full house interior painting, which is 6 or more bedrooms. Okay. So when people go to Angie Leads, they fill out a questionnaire. That questionnaire determines how much that lead costs. So if we're going to play with Angie Leads, then we only want big opportunities because we want the ROI to come. We don't want 1-bedroom jobs. We don't want 2-bedroom jobs. That's not going to scale your business. You need full exteriors, full interiors. You can hit home runs on to give you the confidence to hire because your schedule's starting to get full. Does it make sense?
Yes, that
So
makes sense. The only thing is that the exterior thing is going to have to, I feel like it's going to be transitioning into the interior since we're getting into the fall and winter.
I
There's
think
not that
that,
many more months left for exterior.
well, if you sign up with Angie Leads today,
Yeah,
you could do that and you could get a lead as early as tomorrow.
tomorrow. Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? Facebook
Gotcha.
and Google are going to generate you leads that you're going to have to maybe schedule out, but it's going to take a little bit. But that's why we need something that's probably going to be a little more aggressive, which is Angie Leads. So I would say that we would set up a budget of $2,000 for Angie Leads. Okay. So what does that bring our
That's
budget to?
on that's on top of the $300.
Well, we're going to try to waive that. So let's try, and
No, yeah, yeah.
that's a $2,000 the
I'm already
month.
at 5K. 5K.
But listen, with Angie Leads, you're getting a more qualified lead. And that's important for you
Okay.
to understand. Okay.
All right.
Why are you getting a more qualified lead? Because they went through the process of filling out a form and committed to getting an estimate and assigned a budget, and they're pretty much ready to be sold. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to be sold. So you're at
Yes.
5K between Google and Angie Leads. We haven't even talked
Yeah.
Facebook yet. Okay. These and just follow
That's
me here.
another 3K. That's another 3K. I already know on Facebook. Oh
Facebook
yeah, it's
would be
at least because it's $50. They minimum is $50 to $60 at least.
So you have the
Mhm.
management fee is $1,500 and the ad spend's $1,500. So that's
Correct.
$8K. So it's $8,000, right? Ready? And then if you want to get crazy, you can hire a videographer for $1,000, one-time fee, and have him make a really good ad for you and get some content, which is a
Okay.
good plan, right? This is a full circle marketing approach. You can adjust these numbers as much as you want. Then the management fees are going to be there. But really what you're doing when you do this is you're saying, bring it. Now you can pause Angie Leads at any time. So if you feel like you're at a point where you can't handle enough, right? But a lot of your problems are going to be solved when you have a pipeline full of leads. Google's going to take 2 months to take into effect no matter what happens. So that's planning for future growth, because eventually in 2 years from now, you want such a strong Google profile that most of your lead flow from Google just happens organically because you have 100 reviews on there. You have the website's optimized. That's a long-term play. You're planting a seed for that. Facebook is about social local awareness. What you're going to find is that people are going to screenshot your ad. They're going to like your page. They're going to message you and say, I'm going to message you when I'm ready. It's about building relationships. And then generally speaking, maybe 30 or 40% of the time, people are going to click the ad and actually want an estimate. You never know, but that puts you in the game. And you got to be okay with 8K. You're going to be making a lot more money.
9K.
Or 9K. Well, 9K one time and then 8K ongoing.
Yeah. Because for me, it's like, it's a lot of money to be dropping for this. You know what I mean? And with the painter growth, with the other forms of advertising I already spent in the past month or two, it's already been close to like over that 9K. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just like,
well, I would have
I mean?
probably swayed you against doing painter growth before this.
Yeah.
If me and you spoke, I would have said, let's get you some marketing set up first.
Yeah, now I'm on momentum, so now I'm paying more money to be, and they're telling me door-to-door marketing, you know what I mean? They're telling me door-to-door marketing, and here I am like, I don't want to do this, like that's the type of feeling I'm getting. Like,
here, brother,
I don't want to do a $15 job, like you said,
Listen, everything aside, I do this every day. I own a painting business. I'm telling you.
I know you do.
I'm telling you, hear it from somebody that's I think it's successful. I'm sitting here talking to you. I got 5 jobs going on right now. No one's calling me. I got a couple texts, but I'm telling you this. It's rinse and repeat. It's a recycling system. You put the money in, you change the leads to opportunities. You convert the opportunities to buyers. You find people to paint the jobs, and you do it again and again and again and again.
Repeat. Yep.
So look, I know 8K sounds uncomfortable to you, but remember the picture that we painted about the 30 to 40K a month that you were making? The only way you're going to get there is by doing this. Now, if you want to scale down those numbers, you want to take it easy. If I had to pick one thing for you to do, is call Angie Leads ASAP. Get them on the phone and commit to spending $2,000 with them for the next 30 days. If I had to pick one, if I had to pick
one over Facebook, even getting the Facebook marketing agency,
and the leads on Facebook, the leads on Facebook aren't as committed, which is going to be a longer buying cycle. You're going to get a lot of leads with Facebook, but you're only going to convert 20 to 30% of them. But you have someone at Angie Leads, and this is just honest information. But
thank you for that.
The big dog play because we have the time, we have the resources. I got an admin calling Facebook leads around the clock, right?
Yeah. So what if I focus on Angie and then the Google and then the website? Before I dial these in, focus on the website, get the website in place.
Remember, the website's not going to make you money. Remember that. It's just it's a resource that, ultimately it's not like it's just a resource. I think, again, we got to identify what your goal is. And if I just painted a picture for you of 30 to 40K, here's why I did that early on. So I knew that that's something you're interested in. When you have a lot of leads and a lot of jobs, it's a lot easier to hire employees. Is that correct? So you got to understand, dude, it's a cart before the horse thing. You got to realize that if you know that the goal is for you to get a team of employees, just so you know, a team of 3 to 4 painters can produce 6 to 8K a week in revenue maxed out, right? It's important for you to know this. So what's 8 times 4? 32. If you have an optimized crew of 4 painters, they can produce $30,000 alone. Okay? Alone.
You're taking 50% of that, right?
Generally speaking, you are gonna gross profit between 40 and 45% if you budget it right. Okay.
Okay.
Right. 40 to 45% is a good profit margin on that. And that's after paint, that's after everything. So then you have your operating expenses, which are really low. I'm pretty sure you're not paying for a nice office downtown right now, are you?
No, it's at home.
No, you're home.
At home office. Yep.
Dude, like easiest business in the world. So take the money that you otherwise would have to have put down on that down payment for that office, would have had to put down on that, first. Okay.
Yeah. Because there's so many of them that have been reaching out to me, and I don't know how good they are at their job. It's like sensing them out.
That's my view.
Yeah. Yeah. Lucas is a good one. I really did like them a lot. But the thing about that is that, like, there isn't really a guarantee, but it makes sense because they've been doing it for a while, and they said that. Yep,
no,
absolutely.
If someone makes you sign a contract, then they're not confident.
And not only that, you're stuck into the contract.
Lucas is very good. Remember, don't worry about making mistakes. You didn't lose any money by investing in painter growth. Like, don't look back on that and say that was a bad investment. That was a good investment. You have a lot of great resources from Mike and his team. You have you're going to find.
That's what I've been doing. I've been literally just making calls and trying different things to see which one I need to really dial into to be able to, on the other. Yeah, you're going to stop spending money with them.
So again, best interest.
So how much you think I can really dial in if I really do put this 8K or 9K in?
How much?
Minus the video, maybe 8K.
Nicholas, let me make this clear, bro. Right now, it's all on your shoulders. Every bit.
Exactly.
Is that not you every day? You're not waking up with
door knocking.
I'm worried. Okay. When you,
I'm just going to continue being the same place that I am right now. You know what I mean?
I want you to understand, dude. So, like, you do that are very.
And I know it's going to have to be something that I keep up with, with the spending and stuff like that. So
the crap. Right. And then
I don't have to worry about the door-to-door knocking, the $15 an hour paying job. Plus incentive per lead, per estimate. Thank goodness. I'm just glad I'm hearing it from you.
I knocked the word. I used to sell life insurance, bro. It's demoralizing. Look,
it's stressful. That's how I felt too. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like, before I did the door-to-door marketing, I was like, why didn't I just invest my money on Facebook or some other type of thing that I could be able to see more of a return? You know what I mean?
Like, hey,
and most of them were like, you know what? I do it myself. I'm like looking at the house. I'm like, well, really? You do it yourself? You said you power washed a year ago, and it looks so dirty. And I'm like looking at the house. I'm like, my goodness.
Salesmanship on your part.
Yes. So and that's exactly what I want. Yeah. Those things right there. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
Helpful?
Yeah. Super helpful. I really, really appreciate your time.
Cool.
The great, information, what I need to do, detailed, what I got to go after, and, this is my time to really, just put it all in, I would definitely like that a lot. Yeah.
Too much.
They give up and they don't have that positive mindset. Yes, I know. Exactly. Well, hey, thank you again for your time, Tanner. It was really nice to meet you. Man. I definitely would like to talk to you in the future, in the next month. Now it's just about figuring out what actions to take right now so I can be able to really, take those steps. I got to take that step forward. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, brother.
All right. You take care too. Thanks. Bye.